يحاولوا ان هم يحلوا حتى لو حل غلط. فاحنا المحاضره دي معموله علشان ان احنا نصحح لو في اي حد حل حاجه بطريقه خطا او نفسرها ان شاء الله. طيب المحاضره بتاعت النهارده ان شاء الله هتكون هي حل للانتي بودي ايدنتيفيكيشن بانلز. في 10 بانلز احنا كنا عملنا لهم كويز، و هناخد ان شاء الله في الفتره ديت الحل بتاعهم بالتفصيل، وبرده في كويز للايبي ديسكريبنسي.
اللي حضرتك نزلته امبارح يا دكتور هنحله النهارده
ان شاء الله.
تمام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. طيب احنا قلنا كودز لكل الدكاترة. طيب إن شاء الله أنا هبدأ الشرح بالإنجلش. عموما هيبقى الشرح مختصر جدا، وبعد كده ان شاء الله هيبقوا اتنين، اول اتنين بانل بس. بعد كده بقيه البانلز اللي هم الثمانيه الباقيين هنعملهم بالطريقه اللي احنا كنا بنشتغل بيها ان شاء الله. Okay, so we used to look at the panel. The first thing we look at is the auto control. The auto control is an indication if the patient has allo antibody or auto antibody. So the auto control is positive, which means I'm dealing with auto antibody. We have to look at the faces. We have three faces. We have immediate spin, 37-degree AHG. The immediate spin is positive in all cell testing. And also I have a reaction 37-degree. The reaction disappeared at EHG or anti-hormonal globulin test. That indicates that the patient has, first of all, it's an auto control. So auto control plus I have a reaction in immediate spin. That means I'm dealing with auto antibody, cold auto antibody. And also all my check cell is checked. We agreed that any negative reaction at the HG phase, we have to confirm it, or we have to add a check cell to validate my testing. If the check cell didn't check or it's negative, then I have to go and repeat. Mostly, I'm focusing on the washing the cell, and also making sure I add the anti-IgG. So the first panel here, the auto control is positive, and the immediate spin is all the immediate spin reaction is positive. This reaction disappears with the AHG phase. So from what I see in the panel is most likely it's called auto antibody. It's reacting at immediate spin, which suggests the antibody is the IgM, and the auto control is positive, indicating of cold auto versus cold allo antibody. To resolve and to determine what it is, we have a lot of technique. We talked about it through our lectures. One of them is pre-warm. When you pre-warm your reagent and the plasma and all the the pipettes, the saline you wash with, you mostly getting rid of the cold auto antibody. Or you can do a DDT treatment, which will also get rid of the cold auto antibody. So it's very easy. The cold auto antibody is a very easy one. And the question is, what is the most likely the antibody present? So the most likely the antibody present is cold auto antibody. الصوت واضح يا دكاترة؟
واضح يا دكتور.
Okay. So the most likely antibody present is cold auto antibody. Why I determine it's cold auto antibody? Why it's auto? Because the auto control is positive, and cold because it's reacting at the lower temperature, which is the room temp or lower. The second, so the auto control is positive, which indicates auto antibody. Reaction at immediate spin disappeared at EHG phase, which indicate a cold auto antibody. The second panel.
No, Mr.
So we use
question. I have a question.
Okay, we can. What's the question?
Why we have different degree reaction for 37 degree and warm reaction?
The cold autoantibody. The cold. It's IgM, and it's also we. You remember when we studied what phases, in which phases what do we detect? The immediate spin we detect IgM antibody.
Yeah, but
in 37 degree, just let me finish. In 37 degree, we detect IgM, and maybe we can detect IgG, right? And then on AHG we detect we detect IgG component. So that means 37 degree, even you have a reaction at 37 degree, it doesn't mean it's IgG, because where is the IgG in the AHG phase? Why it disappears? So it still can be IgM component, and it will be react weakly at 37 degree. Okay, the second panel is the same way. The first thing I look at the panel is the auto control. My auto control is negative, which is indicate I'm dealing with allo antibody. All the 37 degrees negative, I have positive and negative reaction with the HG phase. The strength of the reaction is important to me. So I'm looking at different strengths. I have 2+ and 3+, which indicate I'm dealing with one of the two things. It's either multiple antibody or dosage. So when we have a dosage, you get a different reaction strength, or when you have a multiple antibody, also you get a different reaction strength. So we can start rule out on, and we are ruling out on the negative reaction with the patient plasma in all phases, immediate spin, 37 degree HG phase, which I'm going with cell number 2, cell number 5, cell number 8. This cell number 8 and cell number 9. This is the negative reaction cell that I have. If I look at it and start ruling out, so in cell number 2, I will rule out a D, because the D doesn't have anti-cytical. A big C, it's homozygous. I'm not gonna touch the big E.
Little e.
The little e, I'm gonna rule out the little e. The CW, which is the low, I'm gonna rule it out too. Kel, because Kel is one of the most common exceptions that I can rule out in heterozygous. I'm also ruling out in Chilano. KBB, it is a high. GSP. I'm not gonna rule out. I also will rule out Duffy B. GK8 is homozygous. P1, M, a big S. So I'm gonna only rule out on homozygous cell, homozygous expression, which it is double dose. I'm not gonna rule out any antibody or any antigen on heterozygous. And I will continue with the rest of the negative reaction cell that I have. After I do all the rule out, I also have there is another way to detect what antibody it is if you look at the pattern. So I have the first cell is positive, next cell is negative, the third cell is positive. If you look at the antigen here, which cell will give me positive, negative, positive? I have a little c, but little c doesn't fit. So I'm looking for positive, negative, positive. The Duffy A. If you look at the Duffy A, when the cell is negative with the patient plasma, Duffy A antigen is negative. When the cell is positive, it's positive. The last three cell also is, the last cell is positive. Last two cells are positive. The cell before are negative. So it's the perfect pattern, right? If you look at the Duffy A, it fits my pattern here. Okay. Okay. Let's explain. Let's see if the reaction strength differences will be explained. I have here 2+, 2+, 2+. and 2+ in the last cell. The Duffy in the first, in cell number 1, which all the cells that give me 2+, the Duffy A is heterozygous. Heterozygous.
Heterozygous.
Duffy A is the heterozygous. Okay, so cell number 1 is heterozygous. Cell number 6, it's also heterozygous. Cell number 11, it's heterozygous. Okay, so now let's look at the 3 reaction strength. Cell number 3, it's 3+, and it's homozygous, as well as cell number 4. The other 3+ I have reaction here, it's cell number 10.
Yeah.
And it's also homozygous. Okay, so now I'm 100% sure that the reaction strength, it's because the dosage of the anti-Duffy. Any heterozygous cell, it's giving me a weaker reaction than the homozygous. Okay, so I have my autocontrol is negative. The alloantibody, which indicate I'm dealing with alloantibody. The different reaction strengths, it gives me a hint that I'm dealing with either a dosage antibody or multiple antibody. And after doing the rule out, matching the pattern, I conclude that it's anti-Duffy A. طيب احنا كده خلصنا يا دكاتره اول 2 بانل. حد عنده اي سؤال فيهم؟
يا دكتور، يعني البانل رقم 2 يعني ازاي استبعدت البيج اي؟